guys, and welcome back to the HellfireComms Ghiblithon. Today we're going to be taking a look at Laputa, Castle in the Sky, and I feel I should give you all a forewarning. We are checking out the Disney dub, so make sure you have the correct copy of the film. The one we've had to go with isn't the best quality-wise, but you know, beggars can't be choosers, so if the person syncing our commentary through the film can find a better one, hey, more power to you. But as for us, we're just going to get right on into it. Everything you'll need to sync up is in the video description. Have a look there if you're confused. And yeah, here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Okie dokie, Laputa, Castle in the Sky, originally released in 1986. This one also has a major sky theme, as you'll probably be able to tell by the title of the film. But I had a bit of a chin wag with Richie before this, and man, Hayao really loves his air themes, doesn't he?
He does. He loves his planes, something that basically reaches its ultimate conclusion in The Wind Rises, which was, I think, it was his last proper Ghibli film before he retired. I can't remember whether he had much to do with when Marnie was there, but The Wind Rises was meant to be his farewell film.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's now coming back again.
Dude, he's
totally happy and can't wait to see it, but it's just like the guy retires like every other couple of years, so...
Well, you know, when you're, I guess, an artist, you have that sort of temperament, and you just get the buzz again every so often. It's like me. I'll eventually go off making LPs, but there's nothing to say I won't come back. So when I'm 80 years old, doing like a retro playthrough on Breath of the Wild or some shit, because it will be considered retro by that time, you take what you can get. Alright, I'm guessing the girl with the red headband is our main character. Is she Laputa?
No. Laputa isn't really... It's sort of it's not really a person, to be fair.
Okay.
Because if you look at the title of the film, we've been I've been a little bit naughty in forcing Tom to call it Laputa, Castle in the Sky, because that's how I've always known the film, because that's what it was released as in the UK and Australia. Elsewhere in the world, it's just called Castle in the Sky.
Okay.
And the reason for that is because Laputa, there's a Spanish phrase, so La Puta is the whore in Spanish. And obviously, quite a lot of the world has a relatively big Spanish-speaking population, especially the US. And so obviously they decided, let's not go there. But the reason why I like calling it Laputa is because it's based on the flying island described in the 1726 book Gulliver's Travels by Jonathan Swift. And obviously that's a really good piece of classical literature. And I like having that link to this film. It just makes it more special, and it makes things make a bit more sense. It gives it a grounding to why we spend so much time in the sky, and ultimately what we are going to see with this castle in the sky.
I got a question for you right off the bat. If the girl was being protected, quote-unquote, by the brown-suited man, why would she stop him from calling for help?
Maybe he wasn't exactly protecting her.
Ah.
I mean, I can't say that these pirates are much better, but yes, the person who was protecting her, massive air quotation marks, probably wasn't. But yeah, that's the end of the film. We'll see you all in the next Ghiblithon movie, because, she's dead.
Oh, just roll the credits up. Well, let's hope she landed on the castle in the sky, you know? Oh, look at that. I like a bit of woodwork to start off a film with.
I know, and it is literally roll credits. Obviously, it's the wrong set of credits, but it's still rolling the credits.
This is beautiful.
Oh, it is. I mean, obviously, this is actually the cinematic feature debut of Studio Ghibli, because while Nausicaa was sort of the springboard for what would become Studio Ghibli,
Yeah.
Laputa Castle in the Sky is the first film that they made as a big company.
To have their stamp of approval and whatnot.
Yes. That's just really awesome, and despite the fact that, I mean, obviously 1986 is not that long ago in the grand scheme of the world, in terms of film, that is a very long time ago, and it's still such a great film, and it's got a great sense of adventure. Joe Hisaishi's score is just gorgeous.
It really is, yeah.
And I just really, really love this film. It's definitely up there as one of my favourites.
I wonder if they took inspiration from this for Leighton Azran Legacy.
It would not surprise me if they did, because obviously a lot of Ghibli films had very wide-reaching effects, because they have been and continue to be so popular that you'd be very hard-pressed to find someone who hasn't been inspired by it in some way.
Was Kingdom Hearts inspired by this scene by any chance?
You never know, it might have been.
Okay, so her necklace enables her to levitate, I suppose, or float?
Oh, I don't blooming know. All I know is that this song right now is The Girl Who Fell from the Sky, which is just perfect.
Not as cool a concept as The Girl Who Leapt Through Time. That's also a pretty good movie.
It is, isn't it? I'd love to do a commentary over that one at some point, because that's
shit,
a
son.
surprisingly good film.
Put it on the Patreon poll.
This is true.
Any particular famous VAs I should be aware of going forward?
Quite a lot. So, Pazu here is voiced by James Van Der Beek, who most people would recognise as being Dawson Leary from Dawson's Creek.
Okay.
He has also, let's see, just trying to find other things that people would most likely recognise him from. He's relatively famous, all things considered.
I'm very slowly falling into the pit from Diabolical Box.
So you see, probably definitely inspired Professor Layton, because we've already had two different games that it could have linked to. So James Van Der Beek, I think, was very popular back in the day when Dawson's Creek was a thing. Less so now, but still. You've got our girl lead female protagonist here, who we will eventually find out is called Sheeta. She is voiced by Anna Paquin, who most people would recognise as being Rogue in the X-Men franchise.
Oh, there you go, yeah.
You have also got the return of Mark Hamill.
Nice.
They got him in for this one as well. You've also got Jim Cummings. You've also got Tress MacNeille, again.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of Disney, VAs so far.
Yes. You've also got Debbie Derryberry, who was the voice of Jimmy Neutron.
There you go, yeah.
And various other things as well. And then you have got a few other voice actors who I wouldn't necessarily say are hugely famous in terms of folks that people like us would probably recognise.
Okay.
But you've got people like Richard Dysart, who's best known for his role as Leland Mackenzie on the NBC legal drama LA Law.
Nope. Never heard of him.
Yep, no, same here. You've got Cloris Leachman, who plays the pirate captain from the beginning of the film, and she has had obviously a very long and successful career.
Mm-hmm.
The most well, I don't know whether it's most famous, but she was in Young Frankenstein and two other Mel Brooks films.
Damn, that is
and
going back a
yeah,
bit,
she's had a great career. She was also Grandma Ida, or Ida, on Malcolm in the Middle.
Oh.
various other things. So she's pretty damn awesome. There's just a whole set of people who are older actors who appeared in this. So you have like Mike McShane, you have Mandy Patinkin, who played Inigo Montoya in The Princess Bride.
I always confused him with, I think it was Robert De Niro, because when he's in costume, they kind of look similar.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe my brain's just broken.
You also have Andy Dick,
Ugh.
who's been in various things as well. John Hostetter and Matt K. Miller. But obviously the big draws for this were James Van Der Beek, Anna Paquin,
Yeah.
Cloris Leachman, and Mark Hamill. And ultimately they are the main characters for this film.
I'm liking the Sky Pirates so far, especially the old lady.
The Sky Pirates are amazing. They are both, at least for now anyway, our villains and our comic relief, and it's perfect.
Oh, this like Victorian aesthetic they've got going on, it's pretty nice.
Well, I mean, that's something that they bring up on the Wikipedia page here, is that the world of Laputa Castle in the Sky very clearly takes place in an Earth-like place.
Yeah.
But in an alternate history, because obviously none of the place names match real-life geography. And you've got airships that use buoyant gas, but are different in appearance than actual dirigibles, which were buoyant gas airships during a period of time. And also the flaptors and military planes that are used don't resemble any actual craft. But the movie ultimately takes place somewhere between 1868 and 1900.
Yeah.
Because of something that you will see at some point.
Gotcha.
Relatively soon, I think, because it's located in Pazu's house. Because this is Pazu, and he's awesome.
Wake up, you lazy bums, it's time to dig! And the doves send the warning, if you're not up in 5 minutes, you're going down the mine without a pickaxe. You can scrape the gold from the walls. Oh, look at that.
Oh, it's just great. And I think the other thing that I really like about this little village in particular is that it's sort of based on a Welsh mining town.
Uh-huh.
Or at least some of the architecture seen in the film is based upon a Welsh mining town, because Miyazaki first visited Wales in 1984 and witnessed the mine strike firsthand, and he returned there in 1986 to prepare for Laputa, which he said reflected his Welsh experience. There's actually a quote from him saying, "I was in Wales just after the miners' strike. I really admired the way the miners' unions fought to the very end for their jobs and communities, and I wanted to reflect the strength of those communities in my film.
Aww.
I admired those men. I admired the way they battled to save their way of life, just as the coal miners in Japan did. Many people of my generation see the miners as a symbol, a dying breed of fighting men. Now they are gone." So that's actually really nice that inspired him so much. Just a small Welsh mining town helped to bring this film into existence.
Not sure how I feel about Pazu's voice acting.
You'll settle into him, it's fine.
Well, it's just because I can see the dude from Dawson's Creek voicing him. That's a very Doug Walker complaint, I apologise.
Because of when I first watched this film, I had no connection to Dawson's Creek. I still don't, really. So I don't have that problem.
Mm-hmm.
And to be fair, because, I mean, part of me would be thinking, oh, look, it's Rogue. But even though now that I know that that's Anna Paquin, I can hear her voice, I can put the two and two together.
Fair enough.
When I first saw the film, nope, didn't. Because that was around the time when I didn't really know voice actors that well. I didn't really look into them all that much. And so, yeah, just never put two and two together.
I want to try the floating as well.
Yeah, it's not gonna work. I can tell you that now.
Don't do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't need to be a screenwriter to see that coming. Oh my god, he crashed through solid brick.
Yeah, that's gonna be painful. But he's probably got a hard head. He's an anime protagonist, he's fine.
Yeah. Very.
To be fair, I think this is part of what I like more about Laputa than Nausicaa, is that it's got more of a sense of humour.
Okay.
It's just a bit more of a light-hearted adventure. Like, there is place for Nausicaa because it is a serious look at an environmental catastrophe and how that all works, and there's not really much place for humour in it. But I personally always find that films that lack any sense of humour can sometimes just be a bit difficult to watch. Because there's either no let up from the sadness or darkness, and that can just make things much more difficult to watch because there's no break in between the moments of sadness or drama. Whereas this film's got that nice flow between light-hearted moments, drama, sadness. It takes you on that emotional rollercoaster journey.
Yeah. God, with the new Layton game coming out soon, I'm really in a Layton mood, and every bit of this film so far is just, like, hitting all those Layton notes for me.
I know. You mean Layton's Mystery Journey, Catriel and the Millionaire's Conspiracy, which I'm holding in my hand as I speak.
You motherfucker!
I will get to play it eventually. I still need to beat Kingdom Hearts Rechain of Memories, but I might decide to just leave it. Well, no, I can't, because I'm in the middle of a boss fight where I am at the minute, and that'd be daft to leave it there. But yeah, I'm very desperate to play Layton's Mystery Journey now.
I gotta say, the music, like the score of the film, is really striking so far. It's it's getting the film a B alone, just from like the audio side of things.
Oh god, yeah, it's gorgeous. I would say there are certain Hisaishi soundtracks that are particularly phenomenal. I'd say Laputa Castle in the Sky is one of them. Obviously, you have Spirited Away, because that's freaking stunning.
Yeah.
Howl's Moving Castle is also just absolutely beautiful. Those are kind of pretty top tier Hisaishi. You've also got Twilight Princess Kaguya, which is gorgeous.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just laughing at how obvious her disguise is.
Well, of course, as I told you, they are the comic relief antagonists for now. And it's just perfect.
This door will open. It opened. Oh, hijinks.
I know, there's so much hijinks in this film, and it's great.
Yeah, I'm seeing the comedy wackiness so far.
Yeah. The other thing is that obviously they're talking about their mother. So the captain is their mother.
Yeah, I caught that, Richie. I've been paying extra close attention whenever you're not talking.
I know, but it creates a rather funny relationship between all of the pirates.
Oh, here we go.
I have to say, I am really seeing the Welsh mining village touch right now. I'd never seen that before. Oh, this is the type of thing I love about learning more about films. Really makes you appreciate some of the little nuances that they introduce.
I think I've seen the gif of this. It's all coming back to me now. Oh, it's a shirt popping contest you want, is it? There you go.
Yeah. Oh, I'd forgotten how brilliantly silly the start of this film was.
I like dialogue from off screen. It's one of my favourite comedy devices.
Oh, it's definitely good, especially when it's pulled off really, really well.
Yeah, this is a complete tonal shift from Nausicaa thus far.
Definitely. I mean, the fact that we're going to then go from this to Grave of the Fireflies, which is, as I have said, one of the most depressing films in all existence. Like, Ghibli's got range.
I'm liking this, the old woman's voice actor. I think she fits the character pretty well.
Oh, definitely. That's Cloris Leachman. And yeah, she's brilliant. I mean, to be fair, everyone in this cast does a fantastic job. As I believe I've probably said in Nausicaa, pretty much all of the Disney dubs are pretty excellent in the grand scheme of things.
Like, Spirited Away, I know, back to front, but, like, this is my first time watching, I'm sorry for my, like, commentary in these films, like, the Ghiblithon in particular is a lot more just analytical and, like, blow by blow. I very rarely, do blind watches of films, because, like, with Nausicaa, sometimes I miss finer details, but, I thought it was best for this just so you get the experience of someone who doesn't have that much experience with Ghibli.
It's something that I'm quite fascinated to see, because obviously I know all of these films. Some of them I don't necessarily remember quite as well as I would probably like to. Some I don't really care that I don't really remember much about them. Pompoko.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that one. But it is nice to see someone's brand new perspective on these things. Partially, it makes me think more about what is it about this film that I like or do not like? Is it just because that was how I felt at the time when I first saw it? Is it something that I just feel different about now? Or is it that first viewing of something creates a different relationship with it?
Yeah.
And it's quite cool to be able to get to see that sort of happening live as I'm commentating.
It's a pretty interesting action sequence we got here. Like, I've always liked trains, rail tracks, etc. So to have a battle on the rail tracks is pretty hype.
Oh god, yes. And it's funny, but it's dramatic, and there's action, and it just works so well.
Yeah, jeez. What, did the necklace, almost an amulet there, did the necklace give her the power of super strength?
You never know, it might have done. It's a magical amulet from the looks of things. It could do bloody anything.
I'm going to assume it opens the way to Laputa, because, just levitating isn't really that big of a thing.
Yeah, it's not really a spoiler because you kind of figured it out. I think you probably won't figure out the other secrets of the necklace and Laputa until we get there. Because obviously, the film's called Laputa Castle in the Sky. We're gonna get to the freaking island. But I don't think you're gonna guess quite a few of the twists that will come up. And yeah, you go from the fire into the frying pan. To be fair, I'd sooner go back to the pirates, at least they were funny.
Yeah. Oh, it's the army who was protecting her. Well, quote-unquote protecting her. Quick reflexes on that train drive. Well, I think if he stayed here, he's gonna get hurt as well by the looks of things.
I like how everyone's just so happy with just causing wanton destruction here. Like, this is these people's livelihoods to be able to get about on these train tracks, and you're just destroying them.
Who gives a shit so long as we get magical treasure, you know?
Yeah, they're probably gonna die.
Well, magical powers activate. The grammar reminds me of another character in Ghibli, but for the life of me, I can't remember their name.
Probably, Granny from Spirited Away, potentially?
Yeah, but her head was massive, so...
Well, yes, but different kettle of fish. There are quite a few grandmothers or grandmotherly characters who are very much like Captain Dola in Ghibli. I think it's just a archetype that Miyazaki quite likes. To be fair, I quite like it as well because it's just an awesome archetype.
Oh, this is sweet. Sky dancing. I adore this soundtrack. I'm sorry, it's really impressed me so far.
Like, it's soundtracks like this which explain why Joe Hisaishi is as world-renowned as he is.
Oh, they... Probably a good job they ran away.
Probably yes.
Jeez. So I guess we don't have any antagonists for the film now. They're all fucking dead.
No, they're all alive. It's all good. Magical amulets, that they're always such a delight in anything, because you can just say, oh, it's got a mystical power. I wonder what it can do, and then it just does everything possible.
I always wanted a magical treasure. Just something with a rather mundane power like levitation, or, super strength would be enough for me.
Quite like the ability to fly, that'd be quite awesome, because you don't have to worry about traffic. You wouldn't have to worry about flying into birds. That'd be a pain.
The most interesting thing about picking a superpower, from a psychological point of view, is that for me it has always represented what you want out of life. So, when I was younger, it was super speed, because I was a fat old lad and I wanted to just go fast like my hero Sonic. But as I started to grow up and become more of a shut-in, it became flight. You get what I'm saying here?
Just wanting to escape. bit like a caged bird. That's a metaphor that gets used quite a lot. It's quite a beautiful metaphor as well, actually.
Anna's doing a good job for the girl character, I gotta say.
Oh god, yes, she's brilliant.
Not really sure what type of animals those are. They're somewhere between Yorkshire Terrier and Oxen.
Yorkshire Terrier is not probably quite the right breed. And there's a dog that's slightly close to that, and I can't remember what it is. Schnauzer, that's it. Because they've got the big tufts coming down around their mouths. It's more like a Schnauzer oxen reindeer thing. But it looked quite cool, so...
There's precious lore and exposition being dispensed here, and we're quilling about what the fuck the dog ox is.
Come on, it's an exposition dump. It's fine.
Well, you've got the synopsis there on standby, so...
Exactly, and to be fair, this isn't too important. I mean, it's sort of important, but nothing hugely insane.
Really?
Yes. And Uncle Pom is also awesome.
Is a second name Poco?
No, thankfully, because I think I'd be very disappointed in this film.
Is that the film with the Tanukis?
Yes, it's the film with the Tanukis.
Alright, well, I'm looking forward to seeing that one. I can probably guess it's going to get a C already.
Yeah... If I recall correctly, I'd probably give it a D.
Oh, jeez. Well, Richie will give Pompoko the D when we get to it.
Tom, don't be so rude. We're in a lovely family-friendly film right now, which has got people trying to murder each other, but it's all good.
It just never stops swearing. So many vulgarities.
Something that I would find quite interesting to hear what the rocks and the trees had to say, if they had anything to say.
Probably
like
nothing
the amount
good.
of stories that they've probably heard and seen over the years. Whew, you could do wonders with it.
Huh, what does this mean then?
Honestly, I can't remember.
Thanks, Rich. Appreciate it.
It's fine. They're just pretty light in the rocks.
Oh, am I over-examining things?
Sort of, I think. I mean, there's a little bit of importance in that something that Uncle Pom's going to talk about right now is that Sheeta's amulet is made of the same type of crystal that is found in this mine.
Ah, okay. I was actually figuring it was going that with the light and all.
Yeah, so it's called volucite, although I think in the American release it's called Aetherium, because apparently Americans couldn't live with volucite, because people are weird. Although, to be fair, we've had strange translations come from the US to the UK. Because obviously you had Zootopia becoming Zootropolis. I understand why it happened, but it's still a bit daft.
I gotta say, the tone of this film so far makes it feel like a Christmas movie. Maybe it's just the typical Ghibli coziness of it, but you could probably pop this on like mid-December and I'd have no problem sitting down and watching it.
I get your reasoning behind that, because it's got the right mix of humour and adventure that fits, like, the most popular of Christmassy films.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, it's just a really lovely, fun, enjoyable film to watch.
Yeah, Nausicaa's just more serious, so watch that around Easter, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's more fitting then, obviously, because of the whole resurrection, but I think Laptua is just infinitely more watchable. That's something that I always find to be a really cool... It's something that I always really like in films. If it's watchable, then it's definitely done something right.
Yes, Richie. If a film is watchable, it's done something right. Good stuff.
Now, you know what I mean. Like, if it's something that you watch and you think, oh, I could watch this again and again and again, even if it's only just a couple of times, then it's done something right. Like, there are certain films that you watch and you just think, oh boy, that was very heavy going. I don't think I could do that one again. Either because of the way it's structured, or its content, or its tone, or its style. There's just something that makes certain films really difficult to watch a second time. I mean, I would say that I think Grave of the Fireflies is amazing, but I would say that it falls into that. It's not very watchable because it's very difficult to cope with. It's a film that, yeah, you're crying quite a lot of it.
Well, I'm not one to cry during stuff, but we'll see how I tackle it. Okay, we're out the mines now. In the fresh air, let's see where this Laputa adventure goes next.
Well, we know where this Laputa adventure is going to lead us next. Well, eventually, it's going to lead us to Laputa.
Richie, why?
It's the name of the film!
Truly, this was Laputa Castle in the Sky.
It's like if you watched Howl's Moving Castle and you didn't see Howl's Moving Castle.
It's like when Dumbledore went into, that fucking series of challenge rooms in Philosopher's Stone, and he found Harry, and the Philosopher's Stone was right next to him, and he said, if it isn't Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Bit long-winded, but you get what I'm trying to say.
Yes. Just, you did what I do normally, taking too long to get to the point. In that little bit of dialogue, we just found out that Sheeta's full name is actually Lucita Tuel Ul Laputa. Or Lucita.
Well, if you hadn't talked over, I would have been able to hear it.
Well, I'm incredibly sorry. We were having a discussion at the present moment in time, and it just sort of happened.
Such is the bane of doing first-time commentaries with no subtitles. It's fine, I'll live.
It's literally just one of those things.
The girl is important. I got that from the very start. That's the main point I need to glom onto.
Yeah, that's basically all you need right now. You'll get the other stuff later down the line.
Piss jug. How considerate of them.
Well, I mean, it's a prison, and it's around the... Obviously, it's in the 1800s, so it'd be a bit barbaric if they didn't.
It's a bit of a squeeze, but you could probably get out.
Yet no, his head's too fat for that.
Already getting into the strong military vibe, and we're not even, halfway through the film yet. That's Jim Cummings.
That is indeed Jim Cummings.
Because it sounds like it's Robotnik from SATM. Yeah, that's Mark Hamill.
Yep. You see, you can pick them out so easily.
To be fair, picking Jim Cummings and Mark Hamill out of a VA lineup isn't that hard. God bless them, I love them.
It's not.
Jim especially, but they have very iconic voices and are easy to recognise.
Definitely, and I suppose because they've both done so much work that you hear them so much that you're just like, oh, I know who that is. That said, there are some voice actors who do a very good job of hiding their voices, but they are very few and far between.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, I have to say, can we go back to the pirates? They were funny, and...
Oh, you don't like this part of the film, Rich?
I know I do like this part of the film because it's going to introduce us to something that's quite spectacular and very important to the overarching plot of Laputa Castle in the Sky. But I just really like the Dola Gang. They're awesome.
I know about the robot coming into this, by the way.
Yeah, the robot's awesome.
Yeah, oh, fuck!
It's like the Iron Giant, but not the Iron Giant.
We should do a comment on that as well.
Oh, definitely, because the Iron Giant is amazing.
Is there a slot for the talisman or the amulet in there?
Don't think that there is necessarily a slot, but the logo
An emblem.
is exactly the same.
Yeah. So why is she named Laputa as well? That's the part of the puzzle I haven't clicked with yet.
Well, you'll just have to wait and see.
Ah, but I want all my answers now!
Well, you're not getting those answers now.
Well, it would, because, they have the high ground. If you have the high ground, you just instantly win. It's a typical military tactic.
Yes, but the other thing is that obviously the Laputians were very technologically advanced. And I mean, it's exactly the same in Gulliver's Travels, because they can... So basically the way that the island worked is that it had an adamantine base, and its inhabitants could manoeuvre it in any direction using magnetic levitation. And ultimately, the inhabitants were fond of mathematics, astronomy, music, and technology. So they were a very technological-based society, but ultimately they failed to make practical use of their knowledge, so they were like the most intelligent people in the world, but they did sweet sod all with it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, basically the whole point of Gulliver's Travels is that Gulliver goes to all these different places and sees satirical renderings of different types of people in society.
Right.
So Lapta was ultimately... So there's Lindalino, which I think is some sort of area nearby. It's like it's a city that was meant to get crushed by Laputa, and their rebellion against the island is an allegory for Ireland's revolt against Great Britain, and Great Britain's violent foreign and internal politics, and also the Laputans' absurd inventions mock the Royal Society, which was the basically learned society for science, and is possibly the oldest such society still in existence. So that whole thing of they were very technologically advanced comes right from the original text.
Free gold coins. Is that all? Is that all that friendship is worth?
Not to Pazu, because Pazu, as with every anime protagonist, has developed a crush on Sheeta.
Oh, okay.
Because, he's an anime protagonist and she's an anime protagonist as well. This is just how these things work.
Well, at least we're eating well tonight. No girlfriend, but a good meal.
Good meal, but, potentially the world's gonna die, because super evil guy, voiced by Mark Hamill, probably gonna do something pretty stupid.
Yeah, gonna, get to Laputa, take over it, bomb everyone from the sky like Firelord Ozai, who was also voiced by Mark Hamill!
See, all ties together.
Music's still on point.
God, yes. I believe this track is probably called Discouraged Pazu, which is very fitting.
Makes sense. Was it worth it, Patsu? Those free coins?
Definitely not.
No, I actually need this money.
I mean, to be fair, he probably did. He's in a poor mining village. They probably really did desperately need that money, but, come on, money is not as important as love.
What, did you think she'd come back? Oh god, I love this pirate lady.
She's brilliant.
It wasn't so much that it was offered and he took it, he just had to receive it as a gift.
Yeah, and he had to leave because there was naff all he could do.
She has a point. That's not something people who keep the peace should do.
Exactly.
By the by, we'll probably bring this up a lot throughout the rest of the Ghiblithon, but goddamn does Ghibli do food really well in terms of animation.
Yes, they do. they just do everything well. They're just amazing people, and they should have won a frickin' Oscar outside of Spirited Away.
Well, Spirited Away was just that, I don't want to call it, lightning in a bottle, but it was something that ticked everything that, the mainstream audience wanted as well. Whereas stuff like, I don't know, Nausicaa is a environmental message, not everyone wants to hear that when they go see a movie. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not what the Oscars are meant to be about. They're meant to be about the best films of the year.
You naive
but obviously we all know, especially when it's to do with the animation category, that's not how that works.
So they don't just take all his food. He needs that to live.
Yeah, but they're probably going to take him with them, so...
Well, you've already known her for a few days. Oh, owned! That guy's the best!
You see, I told you, they're brilliant. And this is the other thing that I really like about Laputa, is that obviously these pirates were initially our villains, so to speak, but we're pretty much halfway through the film now, and they've shifted from being antagonists to reluctant allies, and it's just awesome.
Another good thing that Ghibli does is they write compelling young characters, but they also write compelling old characters as
Yes.
well. And that's kind of a hard thing to do on either end of the spectrum, honestly.
They pretty much write compelling people no matter their age.
Yeah.
Really, because there are also, like, adult characters who are just really well written. And I think the other thing that they do really well is that, like, the difference is in gender. So, like, the male characters are written well and the female characters are written well. And for film in general, obviously there is a debate to be had about representation of women in film, representation of older people in film, but the Ghibli films in general do a very good job of being all-inclusive, of all sexes and ages, and presents them all really, really effectively, and every character is a character, and that is what is important about them.
It never feels like shoehorned in or done to fit, like, some quote-unquote agenda or anything. It's just there, and they're well done.
Yeah.
And that was a pretty fly action sequence, and so were their rides. They're very fly-like. Oh boy, not exactly my A-game, I'm sorry.
It's fine. I believe... What are they called? Because there's actually a name for them. And I can't see the damn thing, which is really annoying me. It's something like Flopter, or something along those lines.
The flycopter, yeah, that makes sense.
Flapter, that's it. Pirate Flapter.
It's called Fireball. Oh, that's The Save Me part was good. I'm not sure about reviving the Eternal Light. That sounds a bit dangerous.
It sounds a little bit dangerous to me as well. But what's quite cool is that this is actually a type of apotropaic magic, which comes from the Greek apotropein, which is to ward off.
Ah.
And it's a type of magic intended to turn away harm or evil influences. And obviously, yes.
Oh, Guardian Robot. Superman.
Oh god, Tom, don't! You're gonna make me think of the Iron Giant and it's gonna make me cry.
You can't touch it, Mark Hamill. This is good magic.
Open Sesame! Because those are always the secret words.
Oh, they're so gonna die. Ah! Oh my god. That's a powerful laser if it can cut through solid rock.
Uh-huh. I told you these guys were very, very technologically brilliant.
There's something quite terrifying about I don't know, just an antagonistic robot in general. It's completely unfeeling. You know, it's operating on its own devices. I don't know where I'm going with this, but I don't know. There's just the lack of accountability with that robot. It doesn't care. It's just doing what it was programmed to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something that's come up time and time again with robots. It's because they are generally always created to be without emotion, and even though they are sometimes frequently given a human form, they don't have anything else that identifies them as being human, and so they are just cold, unfeeling monsters, especially when they have been created to have destructive capabilities, and particularly when there's very little you can do to stop them, it does just make them very terrifying.
Well, if you don't die first, you'll get to experience it. Oh, I thought Mark Hamill was going to die there. It would have been fitting.
It would have been fitting, but then, you know, we wouldn't have another hour left on this film.
Yeah.
Actually, that's something that kind of does surprise me a little bit about Laputa, is that it is such a long film. Like, it's not the longest Ghibli film out there, but it's still like 2 hours long, which, for Ghibli, is really long.
What is the longest Ghibli film? Actually, I've got the movie guide here, but it doesn't have the times or whatnot next to him.
Oh, because I gave you a list which had all the times on, didn't I?
Sorry.
I'm pretty sure... It's fine. I'm pretty sure that it is the tale of Princess Kaguya.
Ah, I'm looking forward to that one.
I'm pretty sure that that is the longest, because that is... Oh, it's only 137 minutes, so it's an hour and 17. No, not an hour, 2 hours and 17.
There you go.
But that's really long for a piece of animation. I'm just going to check out The Wind Rises, because that one I seem to recall being... No, that's not as long. That's 126 minutes.
What's the shortest of the Ghibli films we're covering then?
Oh, shortest. Not 100% sure, but my suspicion is it's either The Cat Returns or Ponyo.
Okay.
I want to say it's one of those two, but once again, I'm not sure.
It's okay, princess. I come bearing gifts. Yeah, that bullet's not going to do anything. That shell, that mortar, whatever you want to call it. Friend. Friend beam. I'll put a dent in him, I'll give you that.
I think that pretty much did him in, to be fair.
Well, you know, if you shot me with a shell that big, I'd probably go for a nap as well. Isn't she meant to be, like, royalty? Why are they treating her like... You don't pull a princess's pigtails to wake her up.
Yes, but these guys are assholes, and oh good, he wasn't dead. The robot can come back to save the day by destroying the military, and that makes me happy.
I didn't realise you were anti-military, Richie.
I mean, yeah, it's debatable. But this film makes you want to be anti-military because the military guys are the assholes.
Yeah, they were pretty shitheels in Nausicaa as well.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, that's obviously because Miyazaki is very anti-war. So, that's why so many of his films have that sort of message in them.
Oh my god, just see the whole thing burning, like, on the horizon. The horror. The pure destruction of this one robot. Oh my god.
Well, you see, big killer robots, they can be very deadly. That probably wasn't meant to happen. I think he was just aiming, at the bad guys.
Pirates will probably get blamed for it. It's fun.
Yeah, pirates, they do illegal crap all the time. Just blame it on them.
It's a good job he knows not to shoot when the princess is holding his head. He's a well-programmed robot, I'll give him that.
Well, obviously he's there to protect Sheeta, so he will do everything in his power to save her, and if she's got her hand and arm over his face, he's not going to use that sort of power.
I could fire a very curvy laser that goes around her arm.
You could, but that might be a little bit dangerous.
Oh, we're just quibbling at this point. I'm sorry, but I've got a guardian robot now. I don't need a boyfriend.
No, to be fair, she probably does, because the guardian robot's gonna be a little bit possessive right now. This is a very King Kong moment, I feel.
Oh my god. Yes. Sorry, it took me a moment to clock on there, but I totally agree.
Big monster that's actually got a heart of gold beneath it, trying to protect the girl that it loves.
'Twas bullets that killed the robot.
Very good.
Oh, this is gonna hurt. Oh, never mind.
No, we get the awesome flight sequence type dealio that occurs with a flailing Captain Dola on the back until she regains consciousness.
It feels, and you mentioned this earlier, it feels like the film should be, setting up for the climax right now, because there's been enough action to warrant the end of the second act.
Oh, definitely, I definitely agree. I mean, I suppose you could probably argue that Laputa is maybe a little bit too long for its own good, but because this is, you could argue, a very effective finale in a way. For quite a lot of other films, this would just be a very good end to it, and then maybe they'd do a sequel where they went to Laputa, but obviously the film's called Castle in the Sky, therefore we actually need to visit the castle in the sky.
They could call it Laputa. Or not, whatever floats your fucking boat.
Yeah, let's not and say we did. It'd be like Latuta 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Ah, she left it behind. Now I will be the pretty girl floating in midair.
We see it's because she lost it, because when they tried to blow up the robot, it fell out of her hand.
I know, I was watching the film, Richie.
I know, I'm just making sure you're paying attention, because I know that we've been rambling, and obviously we've got to avoid red dress, blue dress.
Well, it was a pink dress, I think, so.
Oh, I don't even care at this point. Watching a film I really enjoy. So, sod cock-ups we made in Nausicaa.
I know he meant that in a nice way, but the delivery of it was so funny for some reason.
To be honest, I think that's the joke. It's just obviously very traumatic moment. and then all of a sudden, Sheeta, you okay? No, she's not okay, you idiot. She's traumatised.
So at this point, we should be, like, setting sail for Laputa, right?
Basically, yes. That is... ultimate destination, so that is where we are going to sort of set up to go. So yeah, we are going to head towards the pirate's airship first, and pursue the Goliath, which is the military's airship.
They had a lot of fun with this dub, it's easy to tell.
Oh, definitely. There's one thing that you can probably criticise the Disney dubs for, and that is potentially over-localising some elements of the original scripts, because you can tell certain instances where they introduced very Americanized jokes into the scripts, and I definitely know that, particularly with Ponyo, they removed some of the more complex elements from the Japanese script when it came to doing the American dub. But that said, the whole point of the Ghibli dubs was to bring the films to the West, and obviously, as we all know, in gaming and anime, general Western audiences have a very different cultural perspective to Japanese audiences. Therefore, there's jokes and references that Japanese people would get that people from the West just would not get whatsoever. So, in introducing these different jokes that change things from the original film, in terms of the script, they were doing it to make it so that the film was more accessible to Western audiences.
Yeah, which is fair.
And it's fair. And obviously there are certain films which will do it better than others. I feel that Laputa does a very good job with its Americanisms, whereas I would say that Ponyo suffers, but Ponyo frustrates me for numerous reasons.
Well, we'll get to that, we'll get to that. By the way, if you were expecting a Dr. Eggman reference, here it is. That's a Dr. Eggman reference. And I had to be the one to bring it to light.
Well, to be fair, it's not Dr. Eggman that I think of when I see him. It is, in fact, I just need to get the character's name.
From Spirited Away?
Yeah, the guy from Spirited Away. That I can't remember the name of.
Oh, the spider dude who runs the boiler room.
Yes, I'm just trying to find out his name. Yeah, he's the boiler wizard. And he's got that same look to him. I suppose it must be a thing that is a relatively popular design decision in Japan, because obviously Dr. Eggman's got it, and you've got the two characters in Ghibli, which is fascinating.
It's definitely more than 5, and definitely more than 3 that P over here got.
Now, since we're in a sort of slightly comic, peaceful moment where everyone's becoming a family, do you want to talk about some of the differences between the original dub of Laputa and this Disney dub?
Oh, sure, go for it, mate.
So, in the late 1980s, there was an English dubbed version produced by Magnum Videotape and Dubbing for International Japan Airlines flights at the request of Takuma Shoten, and it was briefly screened in the United States by Streamline Pictures. Carl Masek, the head of Streamline, was disappointed with this dub, deeming it adequate but clumsy. And following this, Tokuma allowed Streamline to dub their future acquisitions, My Neighbor Totoro and Kiki's Delivery Service. That dub was released only on the first Japanese DVD release, along with the streamlined dub of My Neighbor Totoro and The Castle of Cagliostro. That initial Japanese DVD release is now out of print, and all subsequent re-releases contain the Disney dub instead. This dub was recorded in 1998 and was planned for release on video in 1999, but Disney eventually decided to release it to theatres instead. After Princess Mononoke didn't fare well in the US, or didn't fare as well in the US as Japan, Laputa's release date was pushed back yet again, and on occasion the completed dub was screened at select film festivals. It was eventually released on DVD and video in the US in 2003, along with Kiki's Delivery Service and Spirited Away. And as with Mononoke and Kiki, critical opinion was mixed about the new dub. But most people praised Cloris Leachman and Mark Hamill's performances as Dola and Muska. And then obviously we've ultimately got this film today. So, the differences between the two dubs. So, there's a significant amount of background chatter as well as one-liners that were added. Something that's even more so prevalent here than it is in the dub of Kiki's Delivery Service, and it just fills the moments of silence and increasing the frenetic effect of certain scenes.
Okay.
Joe Hisaishi was commissioned to rework and extend his original 60-minute electronic orchestral score into a 90-minute symphonic orchestral score to make the film more palatable to American audiences, and the sound mixing received a vast overhaul as well. You also have Paz and Sheeta, being voiced by James Van Der Beek and Anna Paquin, being made to sound several years older than they were in that original dub, placing them in their mid-teens rather than their pre-teens.
Gotcha.
Something that I think works very well. And also there's several modifications made to the Dola Gang's dialogue regarding Sheeta, because there is a declaration of love by one of the pirates, i.e. this fella here.
Yeah.
In the original Japanese version, the dialogue presented Sheeta as a sort of potential mother figure to the pirates, rather than a potential romantic interest. And I think Disney probably thought, that's a bit weird. It's still a bit weird for all these guys to go, oh my god, she's fit, I want to get with her, even though she's a teenager.
Wow. They went with it anyway, it seems.
They went with it anyway, but I can totally see that they'd find all of them seeing Sheeta as a potential mother figure a bit more weird, because it's not like Wendy in the Lost Boys, where Wendy is older than all the Lost Boys in Peter Pan, and therefore she can be seen as a mother figure.
God, there's that Ghibli food again.
The only other thing that I can mention is that references to Robert Louis Stevenson's Treasure Island and Jonathan Swift's Gulliver's Travels were removed, which sucks.
Yeah, kind of unfortunate.
But all of the Gulliver's Travels references were also removed from the original dub, from the Japanese, so that's just stupid. But there's actually a few really interesting things mentioned here as well, because although all of the alterations were approved by Ghibli and Miyazaki, some critics have called them into questioning, and regarding the soundtrack, Miyazaki himself is said to have approved of Hisaishi's reworking of it, and his compliments were echoed by several reviewers. But then also, so the 2010 DVD re-release reverts some of the changes. The updated score and sound mix were replaced by the originals. Some of the added dialogue was removed, restoring silence where it is in the original Japanese version. However, the English subtitles weren't updated to reflect the trimmed dialogue, which results in some text being displayed when no characters are speaking, which is a bit ridiculous.
Oh my god, they're ghost voice actors!
Yeah, and the changes are, I think, then properly seen in the 2012 US Blu-ray release, but for the Japanese, Australian and British Blu-rays, the updated score is used, and the subtitles are properly timed, and there's literal translations from the original Japanese rather than the improperly timed dub titles. And I think that's something that they have done in pretty much all of the more recent releases of Ghibli films, is that the subtitles can be viewed. I think you can have either the subtitles of the dub, or you can have the subtitles of the Japanese score, and it's the Japanese dialogue, and that's actually the subtitles of the Japanese dialogue rather than the dub equivalent.
You lost me about 5 sentences ago, mate.
That's fine. We've gotten to a moment where Dole is realising that Patsu and Shita are sort of a thing.
Aww. Supportive grannies are the best grannies. Well, I think the robot destroying that whole citadel speaks volumes about how dangerous magic can be.
Pretty much, yeah.
But was that a good spell or an evil spell? Because it was good for her, but it was evil for other people.
It's a grey area. Some things can be used for good, even though they are horrifically dangerous. Other things that may seem relatively benign can be used for deadly consequences.
Legends say that the robot blurts out, it's all a point of view, both sides are evil, before blasting you to ashes. Ah, nice, is it? I'll ship him while he fucking sleeps.
Probably nothing good.
Oh, here we go, not Jiff. God, if they can do like this much damage with this ship, just imagine like what would happen if they got their hands on the Laputian technology.
Oh, I know. It would be pretty horrific. You know how to say it? Never liked flying through clouds. Turbulence is awful.
Can't remember the last time I was on a plane. I think it was to Greece or somewhere.
Yeah, I think the last time I was on a plane was to Barcelona on a field trip. Awful field trip.
On a field trip?
Yeah, it was my geography A level, because part of our course had to be field work, and we did it on coasts, and we ended up doing it on I think it was Sitges, and yeah, it was a awful field trip for me because I had an asshole teacher who was an absolute arsehole. But the flight, I think it was the flight there was pretty bad turbulence, and yeah, it was not fun. I just remember I was actually sat there just gripping tightly onto my phone as I watched Professor Layton and the Eternal Diva. And just focus on it, focus on it, focus on it. That film got me through that flight.
Layton's got me through a lot of hard times, so yeah. Alright, we should be able to see Laputa from all the way up here, well above the clouds.
Well, I mean, hope so. But yeah, ultimately they're looking for the Goliath and not necessarily Laputa at this point in time.
Okay. I can hear the fear in his voice.
Yeah, it's just like, it didn't bother us at all, except we almost died.
I'm fine. It's great. Just to make sure I'm, like, not getting the gist wrong here. The Goliath has the way to Laputa. Therefore, or ergo, they have to follow the Goliath to Laputa.
Exactly, yes.
Hey.
Because obviously it's the amulet that is guiding the way to Laputa, because it's got that very nifty magical amulet homing beacon thing where it points a line directly to your goal. And that's the way you go. It's Laputa!
Oh my god! Kind of reminds me of the Thunderhead from Skyward Sword.
Does, doesn't it? Yeah. To be fair, this is potentially something that may have inspired them when it came to Skyward Sword, because obviously sky-based narrative,
Yep.
lots of flight, very influential, massive centre of the storm thing that looks like that, would not surprise me.
Still haven't played Breath of the Wild. Fucking fuming right now.
Oh, for God's sake, well, I mean, you're getting a Switch soon. That's still actually apt, isn't it? Because you're getting it for Christmas.
Well, I'm getting it for my birthday, so by the time you hear
Oh,
this,
your birthday,
I will...
so you'll have it.
Yeah, but I won't get Breath of the Wild till Christmas, so it's still accurate.
Oh, okay, that's good.
I'm not complaining,
yes,
by the way. I'm not looking to gift
you will
horse in the
play
mouth
it.
or anything. I will play Breath of the Wild, yeah.
Yes. And you will hopefully enjoy it.
Oh, I think I will. I think I will.
I mean, that is basically sort of how tornadoes form.
Yes, thank you, Richie. Oh. Yeah, I don't really have any choice but to go into the eye of the storm at this point, otherwise you're gonna get shot down.
They're probably still going to get shot down at this rate, to be fair.
Either way, you're being shot down. Would you rather be shot down on a place you can crash on, or just fall through the sky until you die?
Yeah, I'd rather land somewhere, to be fair.
Oh, Granny, no!
I know. No. I really liked Granny Dola and the Dola Gang. They were awesome.
Oh, looks like we're coming to that climax, Rich.
We are indeed. I mean, there's still like another 36 minutes of the film left. But we are definitely working our way up towards the climax of the film.
I know an Act 3 when I see one.
It's definitely an Act 3.
God, their buddy just shot up like 50,000 times.
Well, you have to make going through the Thunderhead pretty spectacular, don't you?
Oh, yeah. That's not his dad. It's Spirit Dad. Follow the Spirit Dad. He will lead you to Laputa.
You see, this is potentially also where Star Fox got its climax from. Follow the Spirit Daddy.
Oh, there it is.
Yep. Here is Laputa.
Is that how you pronounce it? Have I just been saying it wrong for the entire movie?
To be fair, I don't think there's really a specific way that you're meant to say it. I've always called it Laputa, but they've been saying Laputa in the film, so I don't know.
Who cares? People care. Not me, though. Not NTom.
Yeah. Normally I'm very pernickety about pronunciation, but with this one, not so much.
Okay, I'm going to be, blunt here. The past 20 minutes or so, I've kind of been zoning out when they've been trying to get to Laputa, which is something I criticised Atlantis: The Lost Empire for. Like, I wanted more of the journey to the place, but it was mostly wacky comedy antics in the ship, and I prefer this film more when it's adventurous than anything else, and it's a different type of adventurous to Nausicaa, because this has a bit of a cheeky tone to it, but yeah, now I'm fully invested again.
It is something that the film probably does suffer from a little bit, is that its second act is basically everything after the big climax, so to speak, at the military base with the robots. It does dip for quite a while before it manages to get to Laputa. But there's some pretty awesome stuff that's going to take place here.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to it, mate.
Let me just look at that place, it's beautiful.
Sky flowers. Oh, I've never seen anything so beautiful. She's dead. Roll credits.
No, she's fine. She's managed to survive worse falls, so she'll live.
She had a floating crystal at the time, though, mate. Think on.
This is true, but then she survived a big killer robot without it, so I'm sure she'll be okay.
I can't not think of Leighton at a time like this. I'm so sorry to keep bringing it up, but it just reminds me of Azran Legacy so much.
It probably was an influence, this film. Would not surprise me in the slightest.
Oh, this is cute.
It's super cute, and it's just awesome because I think they did a really good job at developing Patsu and Sheeta's relationship together.
Yeah.
Because, even though obviously they did develop a bond quite quickly, it's taken them the entire film to get to this point where they're actually quite close and actually starting to realise that they are actually sort of falling in love.
I like the imagery of them being tied by a knot, by the way.
Yeah, it's pretty effective.
Oh? Another one of those things. This is the dude I've seen in some of the promotional work.
Yes.
Got a very musical tone to it as it's walking.
Yeah.
Just picks it up and throws it off Laputa.
No, they're not actually that deadly.
Acknowledged. Is it gonna fix it? Oh, okay. It all makes sense now.
You see, the robots up here are just trying to keep the peace. They're trying to protect the wildlife that has grown here.
Oh, butler friend! And off he saunters. God, I love flying cities and whatnot.
I know, they're so awesome!
The fuck are those?
I don't know, I want to say they were sort of fluffy beavers. Like fluffy rat beavers.
They kind of look like woodlouses.
They had a bit of bug in them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they also had a bit of that about them. Fluffy beaver woodlouse.
I wonder if the Avatar series, like Last Airbender and Korra, got a bit of inspiration from Laputa as well.
That also would not surprise me. There's a lot of films, I feel, that... a lot of series that probably got influence from this film. It's just one of those things where you watch it and you're just like, yes, I totally see how this could lead to other people being influenced by it.
It's one giant greenhouse.
Yeah, it's basically a massive nature reserve at present.
Whoa. I mean, our major oak's pretty big, but it's not that big.
It's also probably not that sturdy.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
that's
not.
for sure.
It's being held up by loads of metal poles at this point, because it's that old. This tree's doing pretty damn well for itself, if you ask me.
Getting some Tree of Life vibes here. Also, this is what's been bugging me throughout the whole film. It reminds me, the Laputa, of Xenoblade 2.
Yeah?
With the stuff in the sky and the big tree and whatnot.
Wouldn't surprise me if Xenoblade Chronicles 2 has some influence driven from Laputa, Castle in the Sky.
I killed them all. This is my penance. Oh, I don't think this one's running anymore.
No, I don't think he is.
Friend.
You know, this particular robot is reminding me very much of Wall-E.
A little bit. He's got that sort of inquisitive charm about him.
And also the whole last remaining robot of its kind keeping going to do its job and has its own little quirks.
Wasn't this Nausicaa's pet?
Yes, it was indeed. Ghibli United Universe confirmed.
Aww. So where did all the Laputians go then? Just die out?
I think so, yeah.
Beautiful. So fucking beautiful. Oh, certainly not beautiful anymore.
Yeah. Somebody had to come in and just ruin the beauty. I mean, to be fair, we wouldn't have a proper Act 3 otherwise, but still, yeah. I was just enjoying the nice, peaceful, serene beauty of Laputa.
Well, I hope that single robot is ready to fight, because there's an entire army here. They're not going to get out of this without some kind of fight.
No, but you've probably also just noticed that the Tiger Moth, aka the pirate ship, managed to land here as well, so they should be okay.
Oh, I actually did not catch that. There you go, yeah.
You see?
Thank you, Rich. He who points out stuff to Dumbass 64.
Well, to be fair, I'm trying to make up for, red dress, blue dress.
Oh, let it go. That was both our faults. We share the L. Oh, shiny, yes!
You've got massively technologically advanced society. Of course they're going to make ridiculously gorgeous jewellery. Even if it is maybe a little bit excessive.
This film gets an S+ rank now. Oh, vertigo's kicking in. I got the chill up my spine.
Yeah, it is quite a long way down. You'd probably die if you made that jump.
God, it's just a free-for-all in here. Like, maybe Laputa at its height, or the start of its decline, could have, repelled invaders of this size, but not now. There's only one caretaker left.
Exactly, and there's nobody else here to protect it, so, yeah, they're just gonna rifle this place to the ground. So yes, here we have the rub of our climax. Sheeta and Patsu need to stop Colonel Muska.
Nope, just twigs.
These guys really need to look a little bit more carefully when they're doing their investigations.
Yeah, a little bit more than not at all would be best. I mean, they're just arrogant soldiers at this point, that's a trope in and of itself. Are you serious? You can't make that jump. Oh, no. Oh. I don't like it, Richie.
Yeah, it was a very stupid move on his part.
I suppose.
Thankfully, Patsu is an anime protagonist, therefore, he is like a monkey.
Don't look this way. Don't look this way. Oh, very sci-fi.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, again with the pigtails.
Well, I mean, it's a very effective thing to be able to pull from, but, yeah, it's not a good thing.
Well, Patsy, you got about 20 minutes left, fam, so, who you got a rescue plan for up in that head of yours?
I'm sure he'll figure something out, as long as, he doesn't get shot to death.
It's me.
Thank God he survived.
Somehow. Don't know how he got away from the grenade quick enough. Handy.
I mean, to be fair, her pants are big enough for that.
Maybe that's why pirates wear those baggy pants, just so they can keep hidden weapons and whatnot.
Yeah, but be very uncomfortable.
Oh, whatever, they're pirates, I don't care.
It's true. All they care about is their bloody rum. And treasure. Definitely treasure.
Bit of a civil war going on.
Yeah, I think because they've realised what he's up to.
Yeah, one side just wants the treasure, the other side wants domination, or dominion, I guess.
Yeah, it's never good.
Seeing influences from this bit in other shows and whatnot as well. It's like it couldn't be voiced by anyone else other than Mark Hamill. It's like the character was written for him.
Well, obviously it wasn't, but he does do such a damn good job. But he always does a good job, doesn't he? You know, this is the point where it would have been really good if he'd bought, like, a machete or something.
Yeah, he doesn't dirty his hands with commoner tools. Dirty plants, dirty pure water.
Yeah, you can very much tell who the film wants you to see as being the bad guy right now.
Oh my god. So basically it's the Master Emerald.
Basically, yes.
Take that out, the whole thing comes crashing down.
Finally, we're about to find out who Musk is.
Oh. So that's why there's no Laputians here. They all left for the surface.
Indeed. Well, so there's a whole thing in the original Laputa of Gulliver's Travels where effectively it was a very male-dominated society and they prevented the women from leaving because once the women left, they never wanted to come back because Laputan clothes were very ill-fitting and they did kind of... It wasn't great, really. So once they saw the world below, they just thought of how wonderful it was and never wanted to come back. And I suppose you've got that same thing potentially occurring with the Laputans here.
Yeah.
But also, there's the potential that their lust for technological power ended up destroying them, and those that survived knew that they just had to leave.
Oh. These look like weapons to me.
Well, yeah, technological progress generally does lead to weapons of mass destruction.
Oh, fucking Mark Hamill.
Yeah, that was probably a really stupid idea.
What the hell? They're ghosts!
Holograms!
Oh. Are they just gonna die?
Well, it's going to destroy something.
Well, you shot the ocean. Good job.
Yeah, but you got to think, what if a city had been beneath that?
True. It's a hologram yet. Whatever.
Yes, but he's clearly an idiot, therefore he's not going to understand the concept of a hologram. This is the 1800s, what did you expect?
Oh my god, no!
He just committed mass murder. He's clearly a crazy person.
Oh my god, there were robots waiting to be activated.
Yep, and these ones are not going to be as pleasant as, I shall dub him Wally outside.
God, the way they move like spiders is a bit unnerving.
It is, but that's part of the effect.
So what is Muska to Sheeta exactly, relation-wise?
I think that they're cousins. It's certainly something along those lines. 'Cause basically it's just that they are related from ultimately the royal line of Laputa, but different royal lines.
Okay.
So obviously you've got like main family, branch family, that sort of thing. So it'd be cousin in some realm of some degree of separation, basically. Yeah, he was very lucky to end up in that shoot. Or very unlucky, as the as it may go.
Oh my god, this is very nearly said a spoiler there, but I think you know what I'm referring to here.
I'm not 100% sure.
Begins with L.
You'll have to tell me after the film is over. I mean, that's not how slippery surfaces work, but anime protagonists, I am totally fine with this, because also anime protagonists are monkeys, as I have previously stipulated.
You got a nice running joke for this here movie comment. I appreciate it.
I mean, it's totally inspired by Ash Ketchum, really. I believe it's the Primate episode. Might even be Pokemon Forever, where basically they just take the mickey out of Ash because he's basically a monkey.
No, I think I will run away. Scream even.
Yeah, just do anything to get away from the crazy madman voiced by Mark Hamill.
I gotta say, he's chewing the scenery. He is loving this shit.
That's what Mark Hamill does. He chews the scenery everywhere, and it's amazing.
I hope that was worth it, otherwise it's a waste of a shell.
Yeah, but he kind of needed to get out of this little bit and get somewhere else, so probably was for the best.
So how would you say this climax compares to the one in Nausicaa? Mate, were you more invested here as opposed to there?
I say I'm more invested here because I'm more invested in the characters of Sheeta and Patsu. I really like them as characters, whereas I never really got that connection with Nausicaa. And whatever her friend was, as voiced by Shia LaBeouf, just never had that connection with them, whereas Sheeta and Patsu are just very likeable characters, and because they have both grown so much together, and I just feel that it works a lot more effectively in terms of the stakes, because it is very clear as to the stakes of everything that's going on, and it all makes sense in terms of what the film has set up. Whereas I feel that Nausicaa was just maybe a little bit too ambiguous throughout most of its runtime, and it just never proved to be quite as effective to me anyway.
Thought he shot it then for a second.
I mean, to be fair, from that shot, it did very much like it. Like it, very much looked like it. My words, my words. This is what happens on long films. The brain just goes, oh, wait a minute, what?
Oh, he's mad. He does not like that. Shut your fucking pigtail off, that's what I say to you.
Destroying her innocence, I suppose, in a way.
You have the crystal, I ain't gotta do shit. Speaking of the crystal.
That's not how love works, Sheeta. He's got to be the hero and save you. Obviously. Ooh, this is a good bit of using silence, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Wait, he swallowed the stone, didn't he?
Don't think so.
Because he put it in his... Oh, never mind. It really looked like he had actually swallowed the stone in the previous shot.
No, I think that would have been quite painful if you ask me. Yeah, their answer's probably going to be, you're going to die, mate.
The crystal is pissed!
They just recited the spell of destruction.
Oh god.
And as we hear the rather beautiful The Collapse of Laputa, Laputa is literally collapsing.
Well, time to walk off the edge then, isn't it?
Pretty much, and he totally deserves it. And if he doesn't fall off the edge, at least he's going to get crushed.
Oh, these poor robots.
You know what this ending sort of puts me in mind of?
What's that, mate?
Metropolis?
A little bit. It's been so long since I watched Metropolis. Another one for the Patreon poll, I think.
Oh, definitely. I mean, literally the only reason that I have that in my head is because, I mean, it's a spoiler, but the end of Metropolis also features a collapsing building, and it's got this very similar tone to it in that it's very... Well, actually, no. I mean, it's melancholy, but Metropolis has a slightly different musical thing over the top of it, which is slightly different to the very sad and sombre destruction of Laputa.
God, how long must this have taken to draw and animate? Goddamn.
A very long time, I would have thought.
So is she a descendant of the Laputians as well?
No, she's just a pirate who got involved with the whole shebang.
Okay. Oh, I think we've found the real castle in the sky, Rich.
I think we have, yes.
Oh, it's beautiful. So I think we're coming to the end of the film here, and then we don't usually speak over the credits, so what's your ranking for Laputa Castle in the Sky, and how did you feel about the movie, right?
I would probably give it a very firm A rank for me. It's a very enjoyable film. It's got phenomenal soundtrack. I really love all of the characters. Great sense of adventure. There's great character development. And yeah, I really, really, really love it. What did you think?
I'm going to give it a very high B+. I feel there's some pacing issues, especially in the middle. Sometimes it was a bit cheesy, although in the best anime way, but it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And I've seen this plot so many times before. I know that's not the film's fault. It's not the film's fault at all. But I'm not ranking these in terms of objective quality. It's personal enjoyment. So I just felt Nausicaa was a more compelling watch. This is a really good, like I said, watch it at Christmas, the perfect, happy-go-lucky adventure film. It does adventurous elements really well. The two main protagonists are great. I felt their relationship was very realistic. Love the pirates. The villains, except for Mark Hamill, who delightfully chewed the scenery and was really enjoyable to watch. Animation, fantastic. But I think the real star of this was the music. The score here got me more than it ever did in Nausicaa. But Nausicaa was whatever I gave it. I really have to write these down. But this was a very high B+.
Totally fair, but yeah, this is just a really good film, and it's definitely up there with the really good Ghibli ones.
So, yeah, from one extreme to another. Come back to tomorrow, guys, where I guess we'll be taking a look at Grave of the Fireflies.
Oh god, get the tissues ready, folks.
Uh-huh. Whee! Oh, even Granny is pleased.
Of course Granny is pleased, because we're all like a little family now, and that's brilliant.
I signed off way too soon.
Yes, you did, but that's fine, because now we just get to laugh at this really happy-go-lucky, silly, really nice ending.
Nice.
Of course, she's a pirate. They're all pirates. We're rich!
The Laputians aren't using it anymore, so yeah.
Exactly. And why the hell not? You see, this is our Patreon money.
Don't say that, for fuck's sake. Don't compare us to pirates.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh, Richie. The characters in this movie, I think, were a lot more enjoyable than Nausicaa, but again, it's just pacing issues. You know, sticks in my craw. So, very, very high B+. I definitely recommend Laputa, Castle in the Sky, but that's the credits I hear. So, come back tomorrow for Grave of the Fireflies. See you then. Oh, what an ending shot.